What up, y'all? You already know it's the Nutty Byrds. Coming at y'all live with another
Nutty Byrds.
Coming at y'all with another live video review. We just want to get y'all take on it while we look at it live on here.
Been a while.
We tried to upload another one, but it didn't work, so we're just gonna do it live for y'all. Try to do the record first and then whoop-de-whoop edit. No, fuck all that. We just gonna do it live and let y'all see the raw reaction that we have from it.
Yeah, it's some police shit, so you know I'm ready to see this bitch.
Yes, sir, ski. Let's see it, baby.
And nobody follow Rodney Clegg on Facebook. Bitch ass thieves.
All right, here we go.
Initiated a
Let's make it big. Here we go.
traffic stop on 42-year-old grandfather Timmy Miles
Oh,
after
yeah.
he drove away
Oh,
from his
his
Somerville, South Carolina residence.
that's already
Prior
good.
to the stop, Charleston police officers had intercepted a FedEx package containing marijuana that was sent to Mr. Miles's home, but addressed to an individual who did not live there, and, according to Mr. Miles, was not known to him or his family. As part of a narcotics surveillance operation, officers from the Somerville PD delivered the package to Mr. Miles's front porch, and at least 2 officers watched the package from a wooded area behind Mr. Miles's home. At one point, the officers lost sight of the package, and when Mr. Miles drove away, Corporal Barano pulled him over on the mistaken belief that he had picked up the package and put it in his vehicle. Corporal Barano approached the vehicle, and the encounter that followed was captured on body camera.
You just I know what you picked up over there, okay?
Why this
What I
shit's
picked
going?
up? Yeah. Well,
Don't shoot.
get out of the car.
No, I ain't getting out the car till y'all tell me what's going on.
We're about to tell you what's going on. Come on out.
No, bro. What's going on?
That motherfucker said, He already know shit was about to go the fuck down. Like, pull me over. I ain't even did shit, nigga.
And don't even tell me why.
Someone step out the vehicle. You know you going to jail, or they on some bullshit. One of the two.
Police be bugging, bro.
What's going on? Let me record this.
Okay.
Y'all got y'all. What y'all got y'all camera
Yeah, we're
on?
recording right now, so come on
What's
out.
going on?
We got the camera on.
Yeah, come on out.
Tell you, all right?
Come on out.
Oh no! Don't grab me! Don't grab me! Don't grab me!
Well, we're telling you, giving you lawful order. If
saying
you don't
why?
get out, you're about to get ripped out of the car.
See?
Go ahead.
So don't.
I got a back problem. Don't rip me out.
I'm not trying to do that. So come on out. Come on out. We'll explain it
We're
to
gonna
you.
tell you, dude. Come on, step out.
Tell him now.
Let me go,
No, I'm not letting you go.
bro. Let me
This is
go,
your last chance, man.
No.
Bro.
Y'all shit. What the fuck? Wait a fucking minute. Wait a fucking minute. I missed something. I blinked, bitch.
No, you didn't.
Yes, the fuck I did blink. Some shit happened.
They grabbed his ass up. That's what happened.
Quick as fuck, though. Watch.
No, I ain't getting out the car till y'all tell me what's going on.
We're
now.
about to tell you what's going on. Come on out.
No, bro. What's going on? Let me record this. Y'all got y'all. What y'all got y'all
Yeah,
camera
we're
on?
recording right now, so come on
What's
out.
going on?
We got the camera on.
Yeah, come on out.
Tell you, all right?
Come on out.
Oh no! Don't grab me! Don't grab me! Don't grab me!
Well, we're telling you, giving you lawful order. If
saying
you don't
why?
get out, you're about to get ripped out of the car.
Well, go ahead.
So don't.
I got a back problem. Don't rip me out.
I'm not trying to do that. So come on out. Come on out. We'll explain it
We're
to
gonna
you.
tell you, dude. Come on, step out of the car.
Let me go,
No, I'm not letting you go.
bro. Let me
This is
go,
your
bro.
last chance, man.
No.
'Cause you're... Get out.
See?
Why you punch me in my face? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, hold him up.
If you got your camera on, punch me in my face.
You got camera, bro.
Somebody punch me in my face. Hey, bro. Oh, Johnny, what's going on? What's going on?
When Mr. Miles refuses to exit the vehicle without an explanation as to why he was stopped, Corporal Barano grabs him around the neck, pulls him from his vehicle, and strikes him several times in the face. We will explore Corporal Barano's use of force later in this episode, but first, it is necessary to discuss the legality of Mr. Miles's conduct in refusing to exit the vehicle. As we have mentioned previously here on ATA, courts have generally concluded that officers are not constitutionally required to inform citizens about the reasons they have been detained. And although Section 17-13-50 of the
that is some complete bullshit. Because how you not gonna tell me why the fuck you pulling me the fuck over? You gotta tell me what the fuck. So maybe I will be calm if you just tell me.
We'll be cooperating.
So no, y'all want me to act like motherfucking ass.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
That's stupid.
The South Carolina Code makes it illegal under state law for an officer to, quote, refuse to answer a question relative to the reason for the arrest posed by a person who has been arrested. This statute does not apply to Terry stops. Additionally, officers typically have the discretion to require individuals to exit vehicles during traffic stops. And for this reason, an order to step out of a vehicle is typically considered lawful. While South Carolina's hindering statute, which can be found in section 16-5-50 of the South Carolina Code, is limited to interference with arrests, under section 16-1 of the Somerville Code of Ordinances, it is unlawful, quote, for any person to refuse to obey a lawful order of any officer of the police department for the town engaged in the discharge of official duties. However, if he was charged with violating this ordinance, Mr. Miles could attempt to defend himself by arguing that the order to exit the vehicle was not lawful because the underlying traffic stop was not based on reasonable suspicion. Although it is difficult to determine whether Corporal Barano had the reasonable suspicion necessary to detain Mr. Miles without knowing the specific details of what the surveillance officers saw and what they communicated to Corporal Barano. Given the fact that the package was still on Mr. Miles' front porch, he would have a legitimate argument that the traffic stop was not supported by reasonable suspicion, and that he accordingly could not be convicted of disobeying a lawful order for refusing to exit the vehicle.
What
Yeah, sure.
That didn't do nothing?
I'm trying to see now. Add to stage. There we go. I want it to be bigger. Now I can play it.
They lost sight of the box, and this car left and
Okay,
stopped
bro.
it. He didn't want to get out.
This bullshit ass
We had to
video,
extract
these
them. It's not there. We got them lookers. Still on the porch.
Yeah,
We got lookers. Of course you got motherfucking lookers. The fuck you thought? Y'all out here fucking with this man and he ain't did shit.
He probably ain't got no box problem either. I bet you ain't got it.
Oh, mother! Man, y'all get
It's on the
Man,
porch still.
After Mr. Miles was physically removed from the vehicle, the officers realized that the package was not inside it, and later determined that the package was still on the porch. Despite this, they continue to detain Mr. Miles and keep him in handcuffs.
See?
Crazy.
The shit's still on the porch. Oh, G, what up?
Somebody punched him in my face, but that hurt for real. Though. Somebody hit me
Fucking man,
hard.
face and everything. He ain't did
Somebody
shit.
going to jail for real
It
behind
ain't got nothing to do with him.
Anybody get it? You want to search it?
What?
You know what the
This
fuck he
car?
gonna do? What they gonna do?
Yeah. Continue research. I mean, we'll get a dog. Get a
No,
dog. Right
we
now,
don't
he's
got
saying
hold
no.
on, bro. We don't got the
No,
box. Why they
what?
search his
You
car?
know what they about to do? They about to plant that bitch on him. They said is the box is still on the fucking porch.
Yeah,
Which
leave
means
it by. You can go.
no, they about to have somebody bring that motherfucking box and put it in the car.
Well,
Man, I'm just saying. It said
that'd be crazy.
It said cops got fired, arrested, and sued after this.
Well,
They
let's see
on
what
some
happens with this one.
they on some bullshit.
I mean, he didn't pick up the package. So let's get a dog, make sure there's probable cause. We search the car. I mean, I already popped the trunk for safety.
Come on, man. I want everybody car. Everybody car. Hey, you brave. You brave cat. With all this shit on, you real brave to be punching on and choking people, man. You wrong. You had no business choking and pulling on me like that. I would have complied only if you'd have let me know what the was going on.
Exactly.
I come out my yard, everybody swarming me and punching me and throwing me on the ground. That's ruthless. That's thuggish. So y'all call those motherfuckers.
Mr. Miles confronts Corporal Barano about his use of force in choking and punching him, and states that he would have complied with the order to exit the vehicle if the officers would have just told him what was going on. In the 2016 case of Armstrong versus Village of Pinehurst, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, which has jurisdiction over South Carolina, determined that, quote, non-compliance with lawful orders justifies some use of force, but the level of justified force varies based on the risks posed by the resistance. Applying this precedent, the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia, which is also in the the Fourth Circuit held in the
Y'all pull this
2022
nigga
case of
over, look
Nazario
for a
versus
package that was left on
Gutierrez
the
that,
porch.
quote, when police
Yeah.
lawfully order a driver to exit his vehicle and the driver refuses, police may use
Bullshit.
reasonable
I sent that
force
shit,
to remove
GC.
the driver. In reaching this decision, the court recognized that, quote, a key determination in the reasonableness inquiry is whether the resistance is active or passive, and noted that, quote, verbally refusing to exit a vehicle constituted purely passive resistance. Interestingly, we explored the interaction involved in the Nazario case in a previous episode of ATA, and I've included a link to this episode in the description down below if you're interested in learning more. In the present situation, even if a court concluded that Corporal Barano had the legal authority to forcibly remove Mr. Miles from the vehicle, given the entirely passive nature of his resistance, Mr. Miles has a legitimate claim that the type of force employed was excessive and constitutionally unreasonable. In the 2008 case of Cleary versus Green, the U.S. District Court in Maryland, which is also in the Fourth Circuit, held that an officer did not use excessive force in physically removing an individual from a vehicle when she was spun around and slammed against the vehicle several times. However, the court justified this decision by arguing that the officer ceased the use of force once the individual was in handcuffs, and that he did not punch or slap her, implying that such a use of force would be excessive. Additionally, in the 2020 case of Wilson versus Painter, the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia denied qualified immunity to an officer who delivered a single closed-handed strike to the face of an individual who failed to comply with 4 orders to exit his vehicle. And in a 2021 case by the same name, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals affirmed the denial. In support of its decision, the District Court noted that no more than 15 seconds elapsed between the first command to exit the vehicle and the punch, that the officer blocked the driver from exiting the vehicle by situating himself between the open door of the vehicle and the driver, and that although the driver did not immediately comply with the officer's orders, he did not undertake any threatening or evasive movements. Now, while Corporal Barano waited about 35 seconds before employing force and did not appear to block Mr. Miles' exit from the vehicle, he used more force than Officer Painter did, as he grabbed Mr. Miles by the throat and punched him twice instead of once. And given the fact that Mr. Miles did not resist physically or even make any threatening or evasive movements, he would have a strong argument that Corporal Barano used constitutionally excessive force against him.
Please, then I'm paying my tax if you would.
But you told me you wanted to
Can I get some medical situation with the ambulance?
Yes,
I got thought in my face. You know that's wrong. Come on, man.
You know that's wrong.
No.
That's right. It was fucking
Refuse
wrong.
to get out of the car. I was like, oh, this man grabbed me first. I said, why are you grabbing me? I got a right for my rights now. Come on now. You behind me. I did the right thing. I stopped. And then you ordered me to get out the car for what? This man choking me. Died over choking.
Well, the good news is that you're alive and you're kicking and you're not.
You hadn't been to choking me, bro. For choking me, you going down. You ain't got to put your hand on my
Down, baby. You going down.
For whatever you looking for, bro.
Miss Moses, you were doing way for it on.
Where's search?
That dog.
Where's search? I do not want a search on my car. I do not allow a search on my car. No. I do not conduct a search on my car.
They want to plant it. They want to plant that rock.
This is with the trunk open, you know. We thought there was a package in there.
Nope. Fuck, y'all done pop my trunk and everything for what?
Supposed to be controlled delivery. Gotcha. Yeah, if we can get that trunk closed for him.
They probably already dropped that bitch in there. Or dropped a package in that bitch already.
Got the dog. Beaning with the dog. No, these niggas be fiending, bro. They fiending their girl just left them with some shit.
Now get your shit together, bro.
No? Right?
Dog that went all the way around the car and smelled shit.
Thank you.
That's gas.
Did they notify you about
With it, man.
this to the traffic stop?
Negative. They didn't call it EMS.
Blackmail,
Oh
approximately
shit.
30.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it.
35.
I'm gonna pause it. What the fuck is up, Beezy?
Man, when I was scrolling, and you already know, I fuck with the Nutty Byrds every day, all day. And I started seeing what y'all was streaming. I said, what the fuck?
Nigga.
I don't know why the fuck the shit keep getting did away with, and then I think about all the shit. That's why I'm like, damn, BZ, pump your brakes, pump your brakes, pump your brakes. Because the fact of the matter is, they believe we in a lose-lose situation.
That's the crazy part.
Never that. Y'all not gonna keep getting away with this fuck ass shit. Period. Point blank, G. That's why, just on the strength of this, that's why I hold my peace. A lot of the shit I go through too, like y'all be telling me, BZ, just be relaxed, nigga.
I think this is the only one for this one.
Get your bag, nigga. Get your bag, nigga.
Get your bag. Now
get our bags, man. Instead of fuck out these people way, man. Because all they want to do is desecrate us.
Yep.
As a people.
Yep. You ain't never fucking lied.
As a people. They want to desecrate us as a people. What we stand for, what our grandmama and them, because we ain't got no grandmamas, no real grandmamas in them really left like that.
Yeah, they young. They too young now.
Thank you, Nacino.
They too young now. Grandma's like 22.
Because grandmama and them know how to take you and be like, look, you take a boiling pot of water, take some honey, take some lemon, take you a little shot of whiskey in there, and that's all you need, baby. Take you a shot of that with a hot rag over you, or a cold rag on your head, lay down, bundle up. We ain't know about no motherfucking medicine. How do you lay your ass down?
Go in there, lay your ass down. Exactly.
Man, the shit like this, disgusting.
I already know. We about to finish this video.
Thank you.
We got another one
because the world need to see this shit. I appreciate y'all for not being afraid.
Nobody notified them,
shit
so
out.
they're coming now.
Because the world needs to see this shit.
They're coming. I confirmed it. They're coming now.
We're going to search this. Anything else we find here? Secure his phone.
Mm-hmm.
So
are y'all in his shit?
And that's the worst way
all this nigga whip his shit.
Yeah,
they about to plant some shit.
Hey, you know what?
They're about to put some crack in there.
Instant to arrest, we'll hand it over rather than tow it. This is stuff back behind here with this stuff, but you got a corner cut and it smells like weed in there. So
yeah, he has a couple baggies in the front as well. Yeah, I'll get photos of them.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. J-Bird was right. They planting shit.
They planting shit.
We're going to charge them and release the car to mom.
Even though Mr. Miles explicitly and adamantly denied consent to search his vehicle,
Yeah,
and the canine unit sniffed the vehicle and did not alert, after Mr. Miles admits to using marijuana for his back problems, the officers thoroughly search his vehicle, including the contents of notebooks, folders, and other containers, and do not find any illegal substances. As we have discussed in previous episodes of APA, the Supreme Court held in the 1983 case of United States versus Place that a canine sniff does not constitute a quote-unquote search for Fourth Amendment purposes. And in the 2005 case of Illinois versus Caballes, the court determined that, quote, a dog sniff conducted during a lawful traffic stop that reveals no information other than the location of a substance that no individual has any right to possess does not violate the Fourth Amendment. However, the Supreme Court clarified in the 2015 case of Rodriguez versus the United States that officers cannot extend a traffic stop beyond the time needed to handle the matter for which the stop was made to conduct a dog sniff without independent, reasonable, articulable suspicion of additional criminal activity. This situation is more complex than the typical traffic stop, as there are serious questions about the legality of the underlying stop and Mr. Miles' apparent arrest. And the issue is further complicated by the fact that the officers failed to request emergency medical services until after the sniff was completed, although they seem to be waiting for EMS to arrive before taking Mr. Miles into custody when the canine unit arrived. Still, Mr. Miles would potentially have an argument that his roadside seizure was unlawfully extended to allow for the canine to sniff his vehicle. Additionally, while the legal issues surrounding the dog sniff are murky, it is far more likely that the court would determine that the officer's
want this man to
extensive
die.
search of Mr. Miles's vehicle violated the Fourth Amendment. Although officers are generally required to obtain a warrant before searching a vehicle, courts have recognized several exceptions to this rule under which warrantless vehicle searches are considered constitutionally reasonable. For instance, as the Supreme Court explained in the 1996 case of Pennsylvania versus LeBron, quote, if a car is readily mobile and probable cause exists to believe it contains contraband, the Fourth Amendment permits police to search the vehicle. Although the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals held in the 2002 case of U.S. versus Sheets that the odor of marijuana gives officers probable cause to search a vehicle, there is no precedent suggesting that a driver's admission to general marijuana use allows officers to search their vehicle. And in this situation, it is likely that a court would conclude that the officers did not have probable cause to search Mr. Miles's vehicle based on his admission to using marijuana, absent any evidence tying that use to the vehicle, particularly given the fact that a canine unit had sniffed the vehicle and failed to detect any illegal substances. Other exceptions to the warrant requirement include inventory searches when a vehicle is being impounded and searches incident to arrest, which, as the Supreme Court explained in the 2011 case of Davis versus the United States, is limited to situations where, now quoting, the arrestee is within reaching distance of the vehicle during the search, or if the police have reason to believe that the vehicle contains evidence relevant to the crime of arrest. A court would almost certainly conclude that these exceptions did not apply because the vehicle was not being impounded, Mr. Miles was nowhere near the vehicle, and the officers did not appear to have probable cause that any evidence was in the vehicle, having already determined that the package was still on the porch.
That medicine bottle right there also belongs
Fuck
to him.
that medicine
I
bottle.
didn't do the trunk yet.
Dog didn't alert on shit.
That's the Tylenol anyway.
Okay.
And
They fishing for real.
You know they fishing. They about to drop it in that bitch.
Frenzy has begun.
Once EMS arrived, Mr. Miles was taken to the hospital by ambulance, and after receiving treatment, he was officially arrested. According to a lawsuit Mr. Miles filed regarding the encounter, he was originally charged with possession with intent to distribute marijuana under South Carolina state law and disobeying a lawful order of police in violation of Section 16-1 of the Somerville Code of Ordinances. But both charges were later dismissed. However, publicly available court records only list the drug charge, which was dismissed on January 19th, 2021. Less than 2 weeks after the encounter, Corporal Barano was terminated from the Somerville Police Department due to his actions during the stop. According to a so-called separation due to misconduct form completed by department representatives, quote, Corporal Barano can be seen on video striking the defendant in the face twice. And, now quoting again, another detective can be seen grabbing Corporal Barano's arm in what appears to be an attempt to prevent him from delivering more fist strikes to the man's face. The form concluded that, quote, there was no apparent imminent threat or danger to Corporal Barano or to the other officers on scene, and that, now quoting again, Corporal Barano utilizing a closed fist and striking the subject in the face was not justifiable, was not objectively reasonable, and was a violation of department policy and state law. On Friday, October 29th, 2021, former Officer Barano was arrested and charged with third-degree assault and battery against Mr. Miles. And on September 1st, 2022, Judge Ryan Templeton found him guilty after a bench trial, sentencing him to time served. On August 19th, 2022, Mr. Miles filed lawsuits stemming from his encounter with Corporal Barano in both state and federal court. On June 8th, 2023, Mr. Miles voluntarily dismissed the state case, likely to continue to pursue his federal case. And as of the date of writing this episode, the federal case is still pending, although the proceedings were temporarily stayed on August 10th, 2023, due to unspecified, now quoting, emerging familial medical complications for Mr. Miles' attorney. Overall, Corporal Barano and the other Somerville officers involved in this encounter get an F for using clearly excessive force against a non-violent citizen, moving forward with Mr. Miles' arrest after discovering that they were mistaken about the location of the package of marijuana, and illegally searching his vehicle in an apparent attempt to find any reason to legitimize his treatment.
You know how many police officers smoke crack?
I got you.
Bro.
Do you know how many police officers smoke crack and toot cocaine?
They get high as a kite.
Because they got high. Man.
No, I'm serious. That's the only way they know how to deal with the job that they do. How the fuck can you deal with the job that you do?
Dude.
These motherfuckers do more drugs than the crackheads on the street that they arrest every day.
Try to tell you.
I got homeboys that was in the joint that used to tell me.
I got you. Hold on, make sure I didn't write down.
Yeah, say, look, man, we had clients. They called them clients that used to just look. We got 5 bands for you. We need the whole weekend. These my Detroit homies. They'll be like, look, they got a house running. They'll be like, look, all the white man want, and these be judges, prosecutors.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, I know that. For sure.
All we want is a freak girl and all the dope you can give me. Here go $5,000. Here you go. You could take my car. All that shit. These the same motherfucker sentencing us every day, bro.
Reach.
How the fuck do that shit get down? Bro, that shit bogus a bitch.
That nigga don't like it.
That shit bogus fuck. That shit bogus fuck, bro. That shit bogus fuck. And then what it take? It takes for one of them motherfuckers to get caught in some motherfucking bullshit, or one of them motherfuckers to die and some bullshit on like one of the cases or something come up for them to find out that how many cases they don't fuck up for all us niggas.
It's in the way.
All our cousins and shit, even us ourselves, we done went through the motherfucking system. Just cycle through that bitch like cattle farm in that bitch. We like the milk farm in that bitch still. Don't nobody give a fuck about us.
Right.
We money. All we is, don't nobody even give a fuck to know that the shoes that they got on their feet, the motherfucker, one of the people they worship the most, he invested so much money in what? Prisons.
Yep.
Two of the most. There's two motherfucking there's two, what they call them, stocks. There's 2 stocks. Damn, I'm dropping blunts and shit. There's 2 stocks. 2 prison stocks. 2 main prison stocks. And the people, the person they worship the most, who got a statue in Chicago, own the most in that shit.
Yep.
How the fuck you wearing this nigga's shoes? And this nigga is endorsing Bob Barker.
Damn.
Them orange ass motherfucking slides. All that
Walkers, baby.
All that shit you got on your feet and that soap and shit you wash on your body. Jordan that put money in that. He's the one that making sure that it's enough soap to go around, enough of them slides, enough of them oranges, and enough of that shit in the private prisons to go around.
Oh, he got headphones in.
Yeah.
They said if he ain't got headphones, it's gonna.
They don't believe that shit, though, Nutsino. They'll never think that Jordan owned.
Oh, he do.
He
for
sure.
He doing what he doing for a reason.
For a reason.
He said, "Oh, y'all gonna buy my shoes?"
He said he don't fuck with niggas.
Lock your ass
he
up.
Don't fuck with niggas. He told Chameleonaire after Chameleonaire just bought a $5,000 jersey at an auction sale that he don't take pictures with niggas. He don't fucking hold.
Yeah, I heard he be on some shit like that, man.
Hey,
that nigga Jordan don't fuck with us, but we fuck with that nigga sometimes. Oh, I love Jordan. And the nigga got the audacity to tell me.
Not for myself, not for myself. Anyway, my kids,
I love my motherfucking cousin Rollo. Shit, Rollo did way more for the community and for people than this nigga Jordan ever thought to do.
That nigga just wanna create a prison so you can let me get your motherfucker.
And that nigga free. That nigga Rollo free. Nigga.
Yep.
Yeah, Rollo
Stop playing with him. All right, we about to go to the next video, y'all.
I gotta say, look, I can't say like F Jordan like that because look, Jordan got a lot of money and motherfucker might smack me for saying fuck Jordan. But look, Fam,
But some
go.
people just fail to
I'll
handle
say
the
that.
prestige of
Look,
being an authoritative figure in the community.
Fam, go
Police
get
officers are meant to
word
protect the people and ensure that everyone
I don't
and
give a fuck
every
how
place is
funny that
safe.
nigga got. That
While
nigga
most law
was-
enforcement officers stay true to their oath and never shy away from risking their lives to fight crime, there are some who choose the path of corruption. Unfortunately, corruption finds a way to seep into every profession in the world, and even the highly regarded institutions such as the government or police are not immune to it. In recent years, numerous police officers have been exposed for being unbelievably corrupt. They harmed innocent people, took lives, and manipulated the justice system. But once they were caught, there was no way for them to escape the consequences of their actions. And today, they're serving time for their crimes.
Remember to take it out the
Join
freezer.
us as we look at the 10 most corrupt police officers who were caught and got jail time. Eric DeValconaire. Eric DeValconaire is a former Kansas City police officer who was arrested for taking the life of an innocent man named Cameron Lamb. On the day that he died, Lamb had been arguing with his girlfriend. The argument became physical, and subsequently, they left the residence with Lamb chasing her. Meanwhile, the police were investigating a crash, and they had received reports of a red pickup truck chasing a purple Ford Mustang. From a police helicopter, officers had spotted the truck that was driven by Lamb, and they followed it home. Eric and his partner, Troy Schwam, were in the vicinity and responded, and they found Lamb backing his pickup truck into the garage of the house. The detectives, being members of the Violent Offender Squad, were tasked with preventing and interfering with violent crimes. Both detectives entered the property without identifying themselves or even seeking permission to walk onto the property itself. They didn't even possess a legal warrant and were dressed in plain clothing while wearing police department vests. DeValconaire pointed his service weapon at Roberta Merritt, who lived with Cameron. After instructing Lamb to turn off the engine and get out of the pickup, he then yelled that he had a gun and fired 4 shots in rapid succession.
Oh, you bitch
The shooting
ass
transpired within 9 seconds of the detectives arriving at the front yard of Lamb's house. DeValconaire, who is white, was found guilty during a bench trial in November of 2020.
They said this hoe ass nigga told the nigga to get out the car. Well, whoever in the house, they was out there. She pointed the gun at her. Turned back to this nigga.
Man.
They told this nigga, get out the car, get out the car. He got a gun. Just yell,
Right.
busting.
Just busted for nothing, bro. That's what
Busting for nothing. That's crazy.
I talk to them motherfuckers through the window. I don't want to talk to y'all.
Take it out the freezer. Oh, you
Why
can
do
talk about
they
it.
do the shit they do? This shit crazy.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
That's some bullshit.
How the fuck do that give you the right to do shit like
Going
that?
down.
Like you shouldn't have the right to do that.
Share it.
You shouldn't have the right to do shit like that.
But I'll wait. All
right, let's play this bullshit. Let's see who else did some whole ass shit.
Man.
21 by Jackson County Circuit Court presiding judge James Dale Young. He was sentenced to 3 years for taking Cameron's life and 6 years for armed criminal actions. Judge James ordered that the sentences be served concurrently. Prosecutors had recommended that the 43-year-old Eric be sentenced to at least 9 years. Valconaire's defense argued that there was no evidence that he intended to target Lamb when he went onto the property and did so only to protect his partner, Troy Schwam. Lamb's stepfather, in a statement to reporters, would say that he hoped the verdict and jail sentence would shake up the police department and give people more of a voice in jail.
So 6 years for murder.
3 years.
That's crazy, right?
That's crazy as fuck.
While convicting Valconaire, the judge said that he had violated Lamb's constitutional rights, as the 2 detectives had no probable cause to believe that he had committed any crime. He had no warrant for Lamb's arrest and didn't have a search warrant or consent to be on his property. Sergeant Wayne Jenkins. Anyone who's heard about the book or the crime television series called We Own This City is probably already aware of the atrocities that were committed by Sergeant Wayne Jenkins and other members of the disgraced elite unit called the Gun Trace Task Force. Described as perhaps the most corrupt police officer in history of Baltimore police, Jenkins was the head of this task unit that was found responsible for astonishing amounts of abuse in the troubled U.S. city. The job of the unit was to take illegal weapons off of the streets Instead, though, members of this task force resold the weapons that they stole, robbed dealers, and also planted false evidence. In January of 2018, the 37-year-old former ringleader Jenkins would plead guilty to charges of robbery, racketeering, and civil rights violations that involved the planting of illegal substances on 2 men back in 2010. He would be sentenced to 25 years in federal prison by the U.S. District Judge Catherine C. Blake. She actually split the difference between the 20-year sentence that Jenkins had requested and a 30-year sentence that the prosecution sought. She refused a more lenient sentence, stating that Jenkins had functioned as an illegal substance dealer with a police badge. According to her, he admitted to putting poison into the community when he should have been protecting it. Deterrence is important. Jenkins was seen crying in court at the time of his sentencing, and he apologized, saying, "I am so sorry, Your Honor. So sorry to the citizens of Baltimore. I know it's my fault. I know I have to be punished." The crimes of Jenkins and his task force would span over 7 long years. They also committed overtime fraud. Jenkins would apologize to the family of Albert Davis, a man who had lost his life in a car chase that was started by Jenkins and 2 other officers. It would later be revealed that illegal substances were planted in the target's car in order to justify a police chase that should not have happened. Other members of the task force were also convicted on federal charges. Marcus Taylor and Daniel Herschel were convicted in February of 2018 on charges of racketeering, robbery, and overtime fraud, and all of the task force's victims were black men, several of whom were dealers whom the corrupt officers knew could not approach authorities. Assistant U.S. Attorney Leo Wise was quoted telling the judge that Jenkins operated his unit like a criminal gang and had inflicted immeasurable harm to the community. Michael Dotreau. Michael Dotreau is a former Edison police officer. The former officer used a pair of jugs filled to the brim with gasoline to begin a fire at the home of...
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online. Don't spend another until you watch this.
Mark Anderko in Monroe Township in 2013. He intended to take the life of Anderko and showed no regard for the fact that at the time, his wife, 2 children, and 92-year-old mother were all inside of the house. Fortunately, none of them would be injured. Dotreau had previously pled guilty to arson and attempted murder. He admitted setting fire to the house of Mark Anderko, which was heavily damaged in the incident. He would receive a total of 20 years for attempting to take the life of Anderko, a first-degree crime, and 10 more years for aggravated arson for setting the fire in May of 2013. These 2 sentences would run concurrently. He was also given 10 years for official misconduct, 5 years for conspiracy to tamper with a witness, and 18 months for conspiracy to retaliate. According to reports, he set fire to the house after he was ordered to undergo a psychological evaluation after his 11th excessive force complaint. The psychological assessment occurred 4 days prior to the incident. When he entered the courtroom, his wife could not control her emotions and shouted at him, "You're a monster. You're a manipulative monster." Drodo resigned from the Edison police force during his trial, and after the 2013 arson attempt, authorities further investigated his behavior and filed 17 additional charges against him. They also discovered that he had bought a controlled substance while on duty at a previous time. In March of 2013, he and his wife had slashed the tires of a 25-year-old woman who worked in the police department. She had filed a complaint against Drodo, claiming that the married patrolman was harassing her. She even accessed the department database to find the criminal mischief complaint against him. Brass knuckles, a fake weapon, and a club were also recovered from his duty bag. His wife would be charged with hindering for allegedly providing false information during the investigation, official misconduct, conspiracy, and criminal mischief. Drodo did not speak, neither did he express any remorse for his actions during his sentencing. He has to serve 17 years of his sentence before becoming eligible for parole. Roy Oliver. Roy Oliver was a police officer in Texas within the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. On May the 5th of 2017, Oliver was one of the officers who responded to a 911 call reporting several underage children drinking, walking around at a party of almost 100 people. When they arrived at the location, the officers allegedly heard a weapon being fired that created panic amongst the crowd. Officer Roy would fire 3 rounds into a vehicle. Jordan Edwards, a 15-year-old African-American boy who was riding in the front passenger seat, ultimately lost his life in the shooting. The boy was unarmed during the encounter. And besides Edwards, two of his brothers and friends were also inside of the vehicle. His 16-year-old brother was driving the car and was held in police custody.
I
wanted my hepatitis C
Get rid of him. He's fired.
I put off treating
Get rid of him.
Because you just killed a kid for no reason.
Custody overnight for the purposes of being questioned as a witness. Originally, the police had stated that there was an unknown altercation with a vehicle backing down the street towards the officers in an aggressive manner. But after reviewing the body cam footage, Police Chief Jonathan Haber agreed that the vehicle was not even moving towards the officers. Rather, it was driving away from them.
Exactly.
Oliver was fired from the police force as a result of this incident in May of 2017 after being placed on administrative leave. Chief Haber, in his statement, said that Oliver's behavior did not meet the core values of the police department. An investigation would be conducted into the incident by the Dallas County Sheriff's Department and the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. Oliver would be charged in May of 2017, and an arrest warrant was issued. He then turned himself into the police on the very same day, but was later released after posting a $300,000 bond. His trial would be postponed twice and finally began in August of 2018. He would be found guilty of taking Edward's life and was sentenced to 15 years in prison. His attorneys appealed the sentence and the guilty verdicts, but in August of 2020, his appeal was rejected by Texas's Fifth Court of Appeals, and both the conviction and the sentence were upheld. Oliver will not be eligible for parole until the year 2026. Joseph Medzanowski. Joseph Medzanowski is now 69 years old and still rotting in prison. The former Chicago police officer was referred to as the most corrupt police officer by a U.S. attorney 20 years ago. This notorious ex-cop played a vile role in a drug sales ring with various gang members and other corrupt police officers throughout his professional career. He was convicted in 2001 for selling illegal substances, shaking down street hands, and even giving the names of undercover cops to gang members. During his 22 years serving as a police officer, he would receive 59 citations for valor and arrest. He was often hailed as a hero and publicly appreciated for his staggering number of illegal substance and weapons busts. But during his time, he was also backstabbing his own department and his city by secretly revealing the identities of undercover police officers to gang members. He was protecting illegal organizations, distributing controlled substances, and supplying gang members with ammunition. Joseph Medzanowski was also found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for racketeering and conspiracy. It was his conviction that would lead to the breakup of the department's gang crimes unit. He was found guilty of all 10 counts that were against him, and the verdict was read in a packed courtroom. His wife and 2 children were present and crying during proceedings. 4 co-defendants were also convicted by the jury for playing a role in the Miami to Chicago ring, which included Omar Feliciano, Lizette.
Yeah, that's crazy. They hit it with the big boy, though. But they didn't. Not ready. Not even the body, though.
Muhammad S. Omar Jr. and Alina Lease, who was Medzanowski's former girlfriend. In 2020, the crooked ex-cop requested a reduction in his sentence under the First Step Act that was signed into law by then-President Donald Trump back in 2018, but in 2021, a federal judge denied him any relief. The judge wrote that he led a double life and managed to deceive even those who were closest to him. He damaged numerous lives, not just his own. Medzanowski was also convicted of extorting money to fix state criminal cases and accessing law enforcement computers to check for possible warrants as a favor to a suspect.
Wow.
However, his defense lawyers would argue that Joseph just had an unorthodox style of investigating street gangs and was an honest police officer who had made thousands of arrests.
Come on.
Derek Stafford. Derek Stafford is a former deputy Marksville marshal who was involved in a harrowing crime. On the night of November 3rd of 2015, officers Derek Stafford and Norris Greenhouse would attempt to stop a vehicle that was being driven by Christopher Few. The man's son, Jeremy Martis, was a passenger in the front seat. Few and his girlfriend, Megan Dixon, had gotten into an argument at a bar and were taking separate vehicles home. She reported seeing Few drive past her with a police car with 2 officers following him. Stafford and Greenhouse activated the patrol car lights, but few still failed to pull over. This would lead to a 2-mile car chase that ended in a dead-end street near the Marksville State Historic Site entrance. The 2 police officers fired 18 rounds of ammunition into Few's vehicle at around 9:30 p.m., despite the fact that Few had both his hands in the air. As a result, Few was injured, but his son Jeremy would lose his life. The entire ordeal would be recorded on police body camera footage. The other 2 police officers called for backup and were also involved in the unfortunate event. Jeremy was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2 and was just a first grader at the time of his death. Colonel Mike Edmondson of the Louisiana State Police began an investigation into the incident and emphasized that the video recorded by the body camera was essential to the arrest of the involved officers. Judge William Bennett of Louisiana's 12th Judicial District Court would be assigned to the case, and he issued a gag order that prevented all involved parties from discussing the case with the press. During trial, both Stafford and Greenhouse remained under house arrest. The jury found Stafford guilty and then sentenced him to 40 years in prison, half of which would be served without any benefit of parole, probation, or suspension of sentence. Greenhouse pled guilty to negligent homicide and malfeasance in office in September of 2017. He would be sentenced to 7 years in prison, but was released after serving only 21 months of his sentence. According to the Attorney General prosecutor, the stark difference in
Try to tell you, and them niggas wasn't black, they was blue. You got your shit muted. I can't hear you saying something.
in the sentence of the 2 was due to the differences in their actions. Brian Devaney, Sean Dolan, and Devon Smith.
I'm gonna just say right now that I feel fucked up that they was black.
Yeah, we got one. Yeah,
God damn, like y'all know better. Like what the fuck we going through enough? Like this motherfucker that hate their own race. Like whatever the fuck, nigga. But okay, we black and want to kill the white man. Y'all thought they wasn't gonna get your ass together? Yes, they gonna get your ass together, dumbass. Regardless if you're blue. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? That shit dumb as hell. All right. Okay.
Brian, Sean, and Devon are the former Sharon Hill police officers who were charged with taking the life of an 8-year-old child. The young girl, named Fanta Belidi, was walking home with her mother after a football game at the Academy Park High School back in August of 2021. The 3 officers were present at the site and fired their weapons in response to a fire that they had heard in the vicinity that wasn't related to the football game. The 3 officers targeted a black Chevy Impala, which they assumed was where the shots were coming from. The vehicle was just passing the exiting crowd, of which Fanta and her mother were a part. Fanta would lose her life because of the over-eagerness to fire their weapons. The 2 men responsible for the initial shots, Angelo Ford and Hassine Strand, were charged with first-degree murder for Fanta's death, but they later took a plea deal, and this charge was withdrawn. The 3 officers, on the other hand, were facing 12 criminal charges on counts of reckless endangerment and death. However, as part of a plea deal negotiated by the district attorney, the second charge was stopped. Fanta's family also approved of the deal and considered it an act of accountability, and the officers admitted to their wrongdoing. The family did not want to relive the painful tragedy that took their little girl away from them in a jury trial on more serious charges. As misdemeanors, the 10 reckless endangerment charges, each carrying a maximum of 2 years in prison. This meant that the officers faced up to 20 years in prison, and the sentencing was set for January 12th of 2023. No matter how long or short the sentence may be, going to prison is inevitable for the 3 former officers. Once the sentencing is complete, the family's attorney, Bruce Castor, will move forward with the civil case. According to him, "I want justice to take its course here in Delaware County, and then we'll move forward with the civil case." The family is also insisting on more training and police clarifications from Sharon Hill Borough Police Department. Charles Becker. Becker was a lieutenant in the New York City Police Department between the 1890s and the 1910s. He would be convicted in the Becker-Rosenthal trial and is regarded as the only officer who was executed for crimes that connected him to his official performance. The 42-year-old lieutenant had gotten himself involved in the criminal underworld of New York. He allegedly used his position to extort significant sums in excess of $100,000 from Manhattan brothels and illegal gambling casinos. And in return, he would offer immunity from police interference to those businesses. He also delivered percentages of the take to various politicians and other police officers. Herman Rosenthal was a flamboyant Estonian immigrant who ran a number of illegal casinos in the Tenderloin district.
I bet.
He was irritated by
Tenderloin.
Hey producers, if you want the best plugin for building and finishing tracks, then you need to check out Arcade from Output. For the first time ever, Arcade is on sale for
Tenderloin.
A police raid that was led by Becker on one of his casinos, and that resulted in property damage. He went to the press and revealed that Becker used to collect 20% of the take. Becker would be reported as one of 3 officers who were involved in extortion from Rosenthal casinos. The day that he was supposed to testify before a grand jury, Rosenthal was murdered at 2 a.m. in the morning while leaving the Hotel Metropole. Lefty Louie, Whitey Lewis, Dago Frank, and Gyp the Blood were the ones who attacked him, and they made no efforts to hide their identity. All of them were separately tried and convicted, and they were sentenced to death, eventually being executed. Manhattan District Attorney Charles S. Whitman, who was to interview Rosenthal before his death at the hotel, alleged that the 4 men did this at Becker's behest. Investigations would continue in the matter, and on July 29th of 1912, Becker would then be arrested. He was tried and convicted in a trial that was presided over by John Goff. The guilty verdict of the trial was overturned, as Goff had been openly biased against Becker, and then there was a retrial in 1914 in which Becker was again convicted and sentenced to death. He was the first police officer in the history of New York to receive this penalty. Becker still maintained that he was innocent, and according to him, Jack Rose, Harry Valam, Sam Sheps, and Bridgie Weber all served as prosecution witnesses, and they all threw him under the bus in order to save their own skin.
Damn.
He also said that there were other underworld criminal figures who were involved in the matter, but the district attorney promised them immunity in exchange for testifying against him.
All right, y'all. Listen. That shit is fucked up.
Some bullshit for real.
Some bullshit for real, y'all. Some bullshit for real. Well, this is the first.
And all of them is like, all the killers, there was nothing more than 15 years. Everything else, the fires, all the other shit was 20 and better.
Nuts.
That shit kind of backwards, though.
Backwards as hell.
Yeah.
Y'all, this is the first of many reaction videos that we gonna be doing.
Yeah, we do them in a minute.
If you know a video, send us the video. Send us the video. Send us the video. We gonna react to it live so we can see what the fuck y'all be talking about. Because I know y'all got some videos so we can watch.
Yeah.
We
got some old, we got some ones we did.
We got some, but we want to do some new ones. Send us some new ones if y'all got some. Because I know y'all from everywhere. Let us see.
You heard.
We gonna get up out of here.
Love is love, y'all.
Love
Be
is
yourself,
love.
baby.
Be yourself. Nutty Byrds. React to that.
We out tomorrow. You already know. 9:30.
9:30 tomorrow.